Check it. All right, what's up? You are back for another video with Data Zero. This is your final update for today. We're going to be looking at AMC, looking at the bars pattern technical analysis and fractal analysis, as well as reviewing the cycle analysis and psychology and Wyckoff accumulation schematic for AMC and GME. We're going to look at all of that, again, looking over all of the evidence briefly. Then I'm going to show you what I expect for AMC and GME in the near future, where I expect them to be going based off of the technical analysis and bars pattern. Again, confluence and confirmation, key every time. And then we are going to look at the charts, facts, and data for AMC and GME stock. Let's go ahead and hop in the charts, data, let's go.
Alright guys, what is up? You are back for another video with Data Zero. In this video, we'll be looking at AMC, GME stock, and SPY stock. This is your after hours market close prediction and update for AMC, the meme stocks, and the stock market. Let's go ahead and hop into SPY, giving you guys an update and prediction on what's going on with SPY. So we have a possible inverse head and shoulders here forming on the 10-minute time frame. Right here is your shoulder, right here is the shoulder, and right here is your head. This is going to be a recovery back to the upside. You can see that the EMAs are starting to curl back to the upside as well, and we're starting to work on a golden cross here on the 10-minute time frame. We also have possible buy signals here on the 10-minute time frame. As you guys can see, we flashed one here. Now we did get a sell signal, but we are working on flipping bullish momentum. As you guys can see, we have a buy signal here on the 15-minute time frame. So I do think that we will be either consolidating, finding a bottom, inverse head and shoulders playing out. So I do think we will be consolidating, finding a bottom, and it will look something like this. So we will see this and get a recovery back to the upside, filling the gap fill. There's a gap fill around this range, and then overall capitulating back to the downside. I do think this overall area is going to be the top for SPY, and we will see this thing get a correction back down to the downside, filling multiple gap fills back down to the downside. So we have multiple gap fills back to the downside. I do think we're going to get a recovery from this level here, and then come fill this gap and this gap and this gap after filling this gap to the upside first. So again, I know it sounds confusing because there's multiple gap fills. We have a gap fill up here and we have a gap fill down here, but I do think we're going to get a bounce in this area, fill this gap, and then capitulate to the downside. And you know what that will make? A overall head and shoulders topping pattern. Right here will be your head, right here will be your shoulder, right here is your head, and then right here is going to be your next shoulder. And again, you can see this head and shoulder already starting to form. Let's go ahead and again show you what I mean. Right here is your shoulder, right here is your head, and then you can have this head and shoulders topping pattern, which I do think is going to be forming, and have called out a head and shoulders at the top will be forming, and it looks like that's exactly what is coming to fruition. So I do think we're going to be seeing that and see this start to move back down to the downside based off of market psychology, market cycles, and all of that. If we go ahead and look at markets psychology, you can see that we are in the complacency stage where everyone thinks we need to just cool off before the next bull rally, but actually this was where we are about to see a major rug pull back to the downside. You can see you have your euphoria rally with a blow off top, then you have a slightly lower high, which is the complacency high, and then you have a drop to the downside. If we go ahead and zoom out, you guys can see we have this euphoria rally, then we drop to the downside, go into complacency. This is where everyone thought we were going to go into a new bull rally. Again, literally everyone thought we were about to go in a new bull rally, see all-time highs. How many moon boy YouTubers you heard saying all-time highs are coming, all-time highs are coming, we're going to all-time highs, we're going to a new bull rally? All of them are wrong, and as you guys can see, we are starting to top out and move back to the downside. So again, do not follow those moon boy YouTubers that get you rug pull. Come right here to the source to get the #1 calls. I called out 460 as the top months ago. So that's what I'm looking at for SPY. I do think we're about to see downside overall capitulation for SPY, and I am hedged with that using SQQQ. It does go down when NASDAQ and the market goes down, or goes up, or it does go up when the market and NASDAQ go down. So that's what I'm looking at for SPY and what I'm doing. And again, SQQQ pays dividends while you are waiting, so it is very, very nice to hold. Let's go ahead and look at what's going on with AMC. So if you go ahead and look at the monthly time frame, it looks like we are working on a possible monthly MACD cross. And then go ahead and check out my previous videos where I show you the Wyckoff accumulation. So I show you Wyckoff accumulation and letting you guys see the Wyckoff accumulation schematic. We show you that AMC is actually going through a Wyckoff accumulation. So I go through all of that. I also show you cycle analysis where we identify AMC's cycle theory. So you guys can see that AMC is actually in a different cycle theory than the market. And this is why I do think AMC and GME are going to be decoupling from the market. But we have the euphoria rally here for AMC. Then we drop down into, this is your complacency. So let's go ahead and do the weekly charts a little bit easier to see. So you have your euphoria rally, then you drop down into complacency stage, and then you drop down into your anger and depression, which is a lower low. So if we go ahead and look at market psychology, anger and depression, which is a lower low, then you see anger and depression. And what we're doing right now is starting to recover. And then what this recovery phase goes into the hope rally. You can see that we're following this uptrend after breaking out of this falling wedge. Following this uptrend, it looks like we're going to start curling back to the upside as we fulfill a macro double bottom and Wyckoff schematic. So you can see that you have bottom one here, bottom two here, and then a third bottom here, which would send us back up to this range. And then we also have Wyckoff accumulation as well. If we go ahead and look at Wyckoff accumulation, you can see that Wyckoff accumulation has a lower low. So we have this schematic here, then it drops to a lower low, and right here a double bottom, bottom one, bottom two. And you can see that we have bottom one, bottom two here. And you can see that this is the third bottom, and the third bottom is higher on the Wyckoff schematic. You see the third bottom is here, and then that will actually send us back to the point of return as well. And you can see that that will send us back to the point of return. So again, multiple sets of data, multiple sets of charts, and multiple types of analysis, from psychology to market cycle to Wyckoff theory to fractal theory to bars patterns to technical analysis breakouts with the falling wedge, all saying that we are going to see upside for AMC as well as the macro double bottom as well. Now, if we go ahead and look at what's going on for the bars pattern, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys an update on the bars pattern and show you how well we are tracking. This thing is tracking almost candle for candle as of right now. So we're going to go ahead and identify where we are on that. We're also going to be looking at GME here on the short and long term. And I want to point out something else for AMC as well. We have a massive amount of institutions going long on AMC, massive amount of institutions going long on AMC. You can see Barclays right here going long on AMC, as well as the Bank of Montreal going long on AMC. A ton of call options. Look at this call options right here. And then we can see shares being bought. Again, we're seeing a lot of hedge funds starting to go long on AMC. I do believe we are going to see a overall, again, recovery and movement back to the upside, and the same thing for GME as we are breaking out of this macro falling wedge. I'm looking at GME for the day. I did call for recovery in a green day today. That is what we've seen for GME. I called for a green day on AMC, and that's what we've seen on AMC. And then I called for a red day on SPY, and of course, we got a red day on SPY as well. So all three pre-market predictions, which I do on my shorts feed, were correct. Every morning, I do a pre-market prediction. So if you want to see those, go ahead and check them out. I do a prediction for the day, telling you what day the candle is, or what type of candle we're going to see, if it's going to be bullish or bearish for the day. So if you want to see that every morning in pre-market, I put those on my shorts feed. So check out the channel in the morning to see that. But let's go ahead and show you guys what's going on for AMC on the short time frame and GME on the short time frame. I do expect GME to kind of consolidate to the downside until it breaks out of this wedge and then start heading back to the upside. So we will see GME hold that $20.50 as a bottom, but we could see a little bit more downside before we see upside for GME. And then as far as AMC, AMC is tracking perfectly. Got a retest and confirmation of this expanding megaphone, which is exactly what I said we wanted to see today. That's exactly what we're seeing. So this is going to give us the bullish momentum that we need to push to the upside to start fulfilling the bars pattern. So we can see that we have the bars pattern here, and we can go ahead and Go ahead, close this out. And again, we never want to use just one data set. You always want to use multiple data sets when it comes to these things. You never want to just use one data set. You'll never want to use one type of technical analysis. You want to use technical analysis, bars patterns, especially if you're just looking at a bars pattern, because they can be so unreliable sometimes. So you have to back it up with technical analysis. But we can see that's exactly what I'm doing. And as you guys can see, we break out of the expanding megaphone. We're testing the top of that right now, which would give us the push that we need to push into the next bullish structure, which is going to be this bull flag type pennant formation. So we need to break out of this bullish expanding megaphone so we can push up into this bull flag type structure, consolidate into that, and then get another push into a bigger bull flag type consolidation. And that is the last period of consolidation, which I'm seeing some great names in the comments. By the way, I have everyone making names for this period of consolidation before the massive run up, and I see some great names. So keep dropping those names down in the comments on what you think this should be called, and I'm going to pick one or put a combination of them together. I'm seeing some great names. I think I have one in mind, but I'm going to pick one. And if you guys see some names that you like down in the comments, make sure you like that name, because that's how I'm looking to see which one is going to be voted the highest as well. I'm looking for people that have the most creative name, and then I'm looking for people that have the most likes on their name as well. So drop what you think this period of consolidation, the name of that should be. It's going to be a period of consolidation before the massive pumped it upside. And again, I'm not giving dates, but you guys can look on the bottom of the screen if you want and spoil it and ruin it for yourself on when I do expect this thing to take off. But if you look on the bottom of the screen, that is the dates when I'm looking for this thing to take off. But again, we do rely on technical analysis plus the bars pattern plus Wyckoff analysis, all of these things showing us that we are going to see this upside, and cycle analysis. Again, we never want to look at just a bars pattern. So let's go ahead and hop in and show you guys where we're at still. So breaking out of the bullish megaphone, currently testing this resistance as support, which is exactly what we want to see. Now we want to see us break above the $5.15 mark, $5.10 mark, using that as support, and then form a bit of a bull flag. Then we want to see a slightly higher push to the next level. So we want to see this move up into the next trading range. I'm going to go ahead and mark that here. So we want to see this trading range used as support and resistance, then move up into this trading range, and then consolidate, maybe get a pop up out of that range, come back in and consolidate in this range here before we move up into the final bull flag where we pop to the upside and then start to see the rally. So again, this is what I'm looking at for AMC. It's tracking perfectly candle for candle. And again, we will never just rely on just a bars pattern. We're going to be using these bullish megaphones, these bull flags, all of these green technical signals here that I have as key signals to let us know that price is going to do what we think it's going to do. Because if we remove the bars pattern, if we go ahead and take the bars pattern away, so let's go ahead and hide all drawings, or let's go ahead and just hide the bars pattern. So let's go ahead and just hide the bars pattern and show you. So if we didn't have any bars pattern, you could see that we have this bullish expanding megaphone, which is a bullish pattern that can give us our breakout target to the next level. So if I was just doing technical analysis, I'd be using this and saying, hey, this has a breakout target. So I'd go ahead and take this falling wedge here. I'd go ahead and take this trend line, and that would give me a possible breakout target for this. And you can see when we move that over there, it's exactly taking us into the range we need to be for this breakout. And then this breakout target, I would take the high from the low to get that breakout target for the next bullish consolidation point. So we would take our high from our low. Now we don't have the price action to see, but we could take our high from our low to see if this breakout target, and you can see after we break out of this bull flag, look where it takes us, into this bull flag. And then once we break out of this bull flag here, that I'm looking at, once we break out of that one, it will take us into the final bull flag. You can see once we break out of here, take us into the final bull flag, which breaks us out into the support and resistance zone that we need to be in, and then we can take off. So again, this is just showing you what that would look like without the bars pattern and just using technical analysis. So this is what we are looking at. Again, never just using one data set. Wyckoff analysis, cycle analysis, market psychology, all saying that we're going to see upside. Now, if we go ahead and look at GME, GME is the same thing as well. I'm going to go ahead and pop on GME's algo and GME's fractal. Again, we could see a little bit more downside or consolidation to the sideways for GME before we do see that upside. So we'll go ahead and show you what we do have for GME stock. But GME stock is basically in its final falling wedge before it does make that push to the upside. If you look at the fractal right here, it would be like, so if we go ahead and just place this over top so you guys can see just a little bit more clearly what that would look like, you might see a little bit of a double bottom. So we can see GME get like a bounce, meet resistance here on the wedge and get a double bottom and then bounce out of the wedge and then push to the upside. Or we could see GME come all the way to the top of this wedge, get resistance here at this level here, hit its head, come down, and then find support on the wedge, breaking out of the wedge. So this would be the retest of the wedge and then moving to the upside. Or we could see it stay inside the wedge, do like a double bottom hump, and then push to the upside. But I am looking for a push to the upside here in the next couple of days for GME. You can see at the same time. So again, this is how crazy this is. This is how it confirms everything, because the same way I can go through on AMC and do a Wyckoff schematic, do a double bottom, I can do the same thing for GME. Again, that's why you guys need to watch that video where I run through all of the evidence that I have for the squeeze, showing that this is a Wyckoff schematic as well, showing that this is a macro double bottom, bottom number 1, bottom number 2. This would take you all the way to this point, and then that's our blast off point. Also, we have this macro falling wedge. So I show you guys all of that and go through all that. So make sure you check out that video. It is very, very important that everyone sees that video. I'll try to link it down in the comments as well. But as you guys can see, breaking out of this wedge, getting that double bottom, and then getting it pushed upside. But look at the time periods when they're both set to launch. They are both set to start taking off around the same exact time. AMC and GME is set to take off around the same time. It is crazy that they are both saying the same thing. Again, this gives confirmation and confluence that we are going to see this massive rally to the upside, and we're going to see SPY move to the downside because it is in the complacency stage. AMC and GME are in these stages of time where they start to move to the upside, basically leaving the depression and entering disbelief rally, moving into hope and euphoria. That is what they are about to do. Also, we have the Wyckoff accumulation schematic playing out as well, showing that this is a Wyckoff accumulation market cycle, showing that this is the market cycle theory. We also have the technical analysis with the double bottoms, the falling wedges, and all of that good stuff. And then, of course, the bars pattern and fractal analysis. So, guys, this is pretty much everything I have for you for AMC and GME. Again, I'm expecting big moves to the upside here in the next couple of weeks. Again, you guys can look at the prices if you want. I'm not giving you guys dates. You guys can look at them if you want. I already showed them for AMC, but this is what I'm expected on the larger time frame on the macro for AMC and GME. If you found this video informative, go ahead and drop a like. Press subscribe for more content like this. And I do have a Discord you can join for $50 for a lifetime invite. $50 for a lifetime invite. I talk about stocks, cryptos, trades all day long. So if you find it interesting, go ahead and hit me up on the Instagram and Twitter link down below. And if you want to support me for free, all you have to do is drop a like, leave a comment, and press subscribe. I truly appreciate each and every one of you that watched to the end of the video. As always, have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out.
All right, that was the video. If you found it informative, go ahead and drop a like. Press subscribe for more content like this. And remember, you can check me out on Twitter and Discord for even more Data Zero updates. And as always, I appreciate each and every one of you that watched to the end of the video. Have fun, stay safe, make money.